Hello, my name's Ron Newberry, and I want to talk a little bit about the Canon R8. Now, this is not a review of all of the technical specifications. There are tens of dozens of videos on YouTube that do that. I just want to talk about my experience using it on vacation recently. I purchased this camera because my wife and I are traveling to Europe sometime next year, and I wanted a lighter, more easy to carry camera. So I watched a lot of those YouTube videos I alluded to earlier and made the decision to buy the R8 over the R6 Mark II or the R7. I'm glad I did. I really like the camera. It takes really good pictures. The autofocus is fantastic. The image quality is very good. I do want to highlight a couple of things. First of all, if you watch all of those videos on YouTube, you realize the thing they talk about the most is the battery life, that it's a smaller battery. Well, that's very true. I've watched several of those videos, and a couple of guys talk about getting 700-800 shots out of a single battery. Well, I was only getting about 130. So I turned on airplane mode, which disabled the wireless and internet features, which would save on battery life. I've adjusted the viewing time on the back of the camera to the shortest one possible. Did a couple of other things, and I'm still getting about 150 shots. Now, the reason those guys are getting 700 or 800 is they shoot in electronic burst mode, 40 frames per second or somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't shoot that way because I don't need 75 shots of a flower that I just took. So I shoot in electronic curtain, but on the lowest possible speed setting, which is about 6 frames per second, somewhere around in that. I'm getting about 150, somewhere around in there, shots. But I find that very acceptable for the kind of photography I do. My wife and I just recently went on vacation to Biloxi in the Mobile area, and I was averaging about 130, 135 shots. I have 4 batteries, and I would use about a battery and a half per day. But they charge very quickly, and so I really didn't have an issue. A couple of times I had to change batteries in the middle of the day, but again, since I have 4 batteries, I felt like that was totally acceptable. One of the issues that is highlighted that nobody was talking about was overheating. Now, several of the videos I watched, the people talked about the R6 and the R7 overheating shooting video at certain video levels. And so I thought, well, that'll really won't apply to me that much because I shoot very little video. Well, I noticed something on our vacation recently that was not expected. In bright sunlight, the camera tends to overheat, even if it's turned on, but even if I'm not using it immediately. I noticed that when we was on the USS Alabama there in Mobile, that walking the deck on the ship, we'd taken a few pictures, but we were just kind of walking around. I raised the camera to take a picture, and my temperature gauge showed up for the very first time, and it was about halfway across the gauge. And so I noticed that several times. If you go into a shadow and get it out of direct sunlight, it tends to cool down pretty quickly. We were at another location and riding a golf cart, taking a tour of a city, and I'd been taking pictures, and I just had it setting in my lap. It was exposed to the sun, and there again the temperature gauge came on, telling me that it was getting warm. I took a group picture the other day, and it was a sunny day, but it wasn't extremely hot. Camera was on the tripod, and it was in the direct sun, and there again the temperature gauge came on. So that's something that was unexpected since I wasn't shooting video. I don't know if that's a problem that Canon can or will not address, but I just thought you should know that that will have a tendency to happen if the camera is exposed to excuse me, bright direct sunlight. So with that in mind, I would say if you're interested in the R8, it is definitely a camera worth buying. I've been using it for a little over 2 months and have been very pleased with my purchase, and I look forward to taking it to Europe next year. So that's my assessment. If you are interested, it is a good camera. It's worth buying. Just be aware of the caveat. Take a couple of extra batteries with you. You'll be fine. And just be aware of exposing it to direct bright sunlight for any extended period of time. Have a good day, and thank you for watching.